love me, turn to enemies. I be rocking by myself, cause bitch, I been a G. 7-4 until I go. Yeah, ain't no switching me. Yeah, dog, your bitch with me. Tell me what you did with me. Take a trip to Humboldt County, I can get this shit for free. Come back to the hood and tax niggas who was taxing me. Throwing racks like peace signs. I'm keying to the cheap. Me and that bad bitch in the Benz with them bricks on me. Finna hit the trap and check a 10 like it ain't shit to me. Can't let you niggas get to me. You niggas broke, I'm well aware. If they catch my dog with this press, he might get the chair. If I hit your bitch off this perk, you might never see her.
We love the contract that was presented to us. We have just a few provisions that need to be changed. That's it. Everything else we love about the contract. We're happy to be a part of your literary agency. You know, happy to be a part of HHF. You know, you're with the queen of erotica, entrepreneur, you know, a sister that's ready to take over the world.
All right, welcome to the Eric J. the Great podcast show. Got a special guest on the show today, Pimpin Ken. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing well than most, man. You know, better than a ghost, you know.
Right. Absolutely. So first off, just tell the people where you're from.
Well, I'm born in Chicago, raised in the mill, you know what I'm saying? Been all over the world. Been to 49 states, one more state. Just call me the American flag.
Absolutely. So what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of your hometown?
Shit, killing, pimping, robbing, poverty, miseducation of the Negro, just total, you know, debauchery, man. You know, them folks up there, them white folks up there, man, they ain't playing no games. They trying to keep our black brothers down up there in Milwaukee, man, and keep them on some, you know, hitman for the Klan shit. You know what I mean? They killing, you know, each other, so the Klan ain't got to kill them.
Okay. So for anybody that never been to your hometown, just describe how it was growing up there and some of the obstacles you had to overcome just growing up there.
Well, my parents came up here with the Great Migration. They came up here looking for opportunity. They had places like L. Smith, GM, and Ford Motor Company. So they came over here with all the and during the World War II, and the Korean War, and a lot of those Vietnam wars. A lot of those soldiers, you know, they didn't allow the black soldiers to kind of participate a lot. So they had a lot of white soldiers come out to the military. While they was in the military, those jobs became available, and people start moving in the ghettos, you know, because at first, you know, the Europeans live in the ghettos. So when they come back, they went from the migration to the white flight. Then the white folks started moving out to the suburbs, but they left a lot of good homes and good jobs in the city. So, you know, initially it was cool, you know, it was like, you know, somewhat like a middle class blue collar lifestyle, you know. And then, you know, over the years, you know, it got into the gang banging. You know, a lot of people from Chicago moved to Milwaukee, and it got into the violence, and you know, a lot of, you know, people started dying, and once you kill somebody, you got to retaliate. And I watched that whole thing play. I watched the whole gang scene become what it is, you know, because a lot of my cousins and shit, family is tied up in that shit. So, you know, and then you had the people that work. You know, a lot of people had Cadillacs back then, nice cars. There was a lot of gambling back then, you know, a lot of T's and blues, heroin, you know, a lot of pimping. You know, it was a real big pimp town because a lot of people came from New York, Memphis, Arizona, Vegas, Cali, to come up there and put the bitches down because the police was just, you know, tolerant in those days towards the pimping. They wouldn't really trip on the game. They didn't know what it was because it was a small town. But eventually, you know, the gangs got infested and they started extorting niggas when the cocaine came in '86, and niggas started having a lot of money, a lot of jewelry, and that retaliated on the other people's side. They got tired of the gangbangers robbing them, so they started killing them, and then the shit never stopped. It's just still like a lot of murder and killing today.
Okay. So you had a 2-parent household, any siblings?
Yeah, my whole entire life I grew up with my mom and my father. My father deceased about 15 years ago, but you know, all my life I had my father. But that didn't stop me because my father was a street dude, so I had aspirations to be like him, and I hung out with a lot of street dudes. And unfortunately, hang out with street dudes sometimes, you know, they be into crime. So, you know, we was doing a lot of crime and a lot of, you know, crazy stuff that, I got my first case in Chicago for attempted murder. My brother pushed somebody off the L train, and in Chicago they call it attempted murder because if you hit 3 rails, you're gonna get electrocuted to death. So they used that law against us and had us in jail at 14. Then I got out of there and went back to Milwaukee and tried to forge a check. Went back to jail. So it's a lot of history to the town.
Okay. So, what type of activities you was into as a kid? Did you play any sports, anything like that?
Yeah, I dib and dab. Give me a charger. I dib and dab in basketball. Basically the same shit. Play football. Ride bikes and shit. Used to fix up them swing bikes back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you growing up, going through life as a kid, caught your first case and things like that. What led to the pimping scene?
Well, my friend gave me a prostitute when I was 16. My man named JD, and we was into robbing banks and robbing jewelry stores. So we had a lot of money back then and a lot of jewelry. So a lot of women, they thought we was pimps because we was looking so fresh. So, but he got actually into the game. When I came home, I asked him for a bra. He gave me a bra. His name was Dirty Red. Dirty Red got me in the game, taught me the game. Then brother's name Star Child. He finished lacing me up, and then I became legendary. I became one of the biggest pimps in the country. Won international, national, local pimp of the year, all kind of pimp trophies. One of the best dressers, best talkers. Had some of the best. It was just, it was a whirlwind of game and success for me. I never fell off. Pimping didn't quit me. I quit pimping.
Absolutely. So, when you look back at that time in your life, what would you say is the pros and cons to pimping? Like what comes with it?
Well, pimping ain't got no pros and cons. It's either you in it, it's like a t-shirt, you got to be in it to win it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no additives, preservatives, or mixes in the game. You straight lace, no chase. You mash on the bitch, you break the bitch for everything, you get all the money, you send the bitch out the door and get you some more, you know what I mean? And that's how I go. We lose a bitch, you know what I'm saying? It's like a bus, you lose one, you're gonna catch 2 more. You know, we don't need them, we let the welfare feed them. Mother had them, motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? You know, and that's just how niggas thought back then, it was like straight lace, no free fucking, no fingerprints, no touchy, feely, no hands and kicking cans in the sand, none of that shit. Just raw, unadulterated game. And you have to be kind of groomed into that because when you're young, you'll make a lot of mistakes. You're gonna do a lot of dumb shit that's not got nothing to do with the game, but after a while you figure it out and you feel like, damn, this is how they play it, this is how this goes. And you just play it how it go, and you keep it funky at 100. Niggas don't keep it 100. Niggas might keep it 75, but niggas don't keep it 100 no more. Them days over with. But nigga got to, in the game, I learned that you got to explore your limitations. You know what I mean? You can't, accept mediocrity. You know what I'm saying? You got to go all the way in. You got to be number one. You got to be the champ. You got to take home the ring. And that's how the game was, and that's what motivated me. The challenges of, competition and, being, competition over collaboration, being attacked, from the female side, a dude trying to take your girl. Every 5 minutes, somebody hollering at your girl, and you can't do nothing about it because it's part of the game. That was the part that made me so ruthless and made me feel like, oh, what I'm saying, I can handle this, because I feel that I was cut, to handle a lot of bullshit. And I end up, mastering the game and being number the best, being number one and one of the best that do it and got away with the best that did it, got away with it. Milwaukee Finest, the Royal Highness. A lot of people, they'd be like, man, how did you do it? I just stayed down, man, and kept on believing in myself.
Absolutely. So when you think about that time frame in your life as you got older now, do you have any regrets from that time period of your life, or is just
Well, you know, what you go through, you grow through. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the preacher, if he would have went through what he went through, he would have never became one of God's ministry. You know what I'm saying? You never regret what you went through. You know, you just realize those are stepping stones and learning lessons. Because in every lesson is a blessing. You know what I mean? Like I said, people start at your feet, they end up at your throat. It took me a long time to learn that. I thought people was my friends, but really, and they were down with me, they was really down to get me. You know, but you learn that by being everything that happens in your life is not just happening. No accidents or coincidence. You know, everything shaped you to be who you are. You know, I wouldn't be on the phone with you had I went through what I went through. So how can I regret that and not regret all the success that I got from that?
yeah, I could feel that. So
You know,
when you was coming to the end of your pimping days, what was your exit plan? What was your pivot? What did you want to do when
well,
you?
I didn't have no exit plan. I just woke up one day and HBO was at my house. You know, and when I did that, and over a billion people see me, you know, I'm wise enough to know and 1+1 = 2. So I just started doing the math, and next thing you know, I started putting out movies, and I started getting on albums and working with 50 Cent, Too Short, Nelly, you know, Jermaine Dupri, Puffy, Loon, you know, Mac 10, Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, you know, the whole crew, you know what I mean? And that elevated me to a level of business, you know what I'm saying, that I can't even explain right now. Just ever since then, I've been on conquest to do better business and to be somewhat like Jay-Z is to the rap game. I want to be to the pimping. You know, I want to be the mogul, which I am that mogul. You know, I signed Boosie, I signed Ice-T, I signed Corey Wise. You know, I got Rick Ross new movie coming out in my docu-series. I got Ice-T and Boosie. So I'm making a lot of pro moves. I own one of the biggest organizations in hip hop, the hip hop fraternity. You know, so when you think about all of that, you think about all of the exposure and the access, you know what I'm saying? You could say, damn, you know, being a pimp went all that bad because it led you to, you know, be on all these albums and all these movies and to meet all these famous people. And now you're helping young people out. You're feeding kids for free. You're letting them perform for free. You're letting them entry for free. You let them park for free. You've been doing this for 3 years. You know, you got lawyers, doctors, accountants, you know, A&Rs, marketers, everybody on your team. You know, you got over 5,000 members. You say, do I regret what I did? No, because I'm like a street prophet. A lot of people in the street, they come to me because they know that I've been through it. They know that, you know, I can relate to them. And I think that that's one of the things that people love, you know, young people love is when you're relatable. And I think that, you know, they see my struggle, they see some of the things I've been through, some of the moves I made, and they fall in love with it. Because, you know, you got to fall in love with a nigga that's still in the hood at 60. You know, I'm still out here. I'm on the block right now. I'm in a brand new Benz, you know. I'm in the 560 Benz, you know. Big boy. You know what I'm saying? You know, out here doing it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, in the hood. This is the hood right here. This is the hood. This is the ghetto. No security. Only security I got is my social security card,
Mm.
you know. So, you know, I think that what the pimping did for me, it made me a household name. And now I transition into the positivity. So, you know, I can be a message. You know, my life is a testimony, you know, and my testimony is going to help a lot of young people out because a lot of people going to say, man, if Ken got out, I can get out. So, no, I don't regret it.
Absolutely. And the way you just explained, everything you're involved in with the hip hop fraternity, working with different moguls and different artists. When I think about pimping from the outside looking in, pimping, once you get to a certain level that you was at being the biggest pimp, you had a lot of moving pieces. And as when HBO showed up to your door and you started getting into the movies and you're involved in the music and stuff now, you was already used to dealing with juggling a lot of moving parts. So it was just you just pivoting into another different type of business with a different type of rules.
Absolutely. It's the same formality. You know what I'm saying? If you got 10 bitches, you got 10 employees. You know what I'm saying? Employees become disgruntled. If you read my book, The 48 Laws of Game, I talk about the parities and the comparisons, with the life in the game. It's really no comparison. I'm just a high paid manager. You know what I'm saying? I still got to deal with the human element, the socialization of people. So, once you understand that, and you understand, different rules and regulations, you understand you work a job, they got different rules and regulations, you know, somebody gonna be the top worker, somebody gonna be the bottom worker, sometimes the boss gonna pick, the one that worked the hardest, the most industrious, the most one that take the initiative most of the time as his top, employee or manager. And you're gonna have a bottom bitch, you know what I'm saying? There's so many similarities. You got to have, people skills to be a great manager. You shake people's hand, you smile, you know what I'm saying? You extend, kind words. And, in the game, you got to be a mastermind. You got to deal with people on their level, you know, and it's still the same thing. It's just, it's just a game.
Absolutely. So when you first got involved in movies and you start rolling these movies out with these different stars, what was something that you picked up quick that you enjoyed about the movie industry?
Well, I'm a businessman. I enjoyed the money, So my first deal was Script Master. That was my first movie, Pimpology. So I come in the game getting hundreds of thousands, you know what I'm saying? Making big deals, and working my jelly. And I think that's one of the uniqueness about me is how I'm able to, finesse the game, you know what I'm saying? And turn it around where, I'm getting paid. I said one thing when I was selling dope back in the day when I tried it. When I got to prison, I tried it. I didn't like it. But I said, I'm gonna find me something that I can sell, for $10, $20, and I'm gonna sell it all over the world. And my movies been selling all over the world. Everywhere I go, I take my movies with me. And it's been very profitable and very beneficial, but it's just, taking the same hustle from the block. Instead of selling rocks, I'm selling DVDs.
Absolutely.
And I ain't got to worry about the police. I ain't got to look behind my back. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to worry about the DVD, melting or, a fiend stealing it because I own it 100% of my intellectual property.
Absolutely. Product is product.
Yeah, most definitely.
So the hip hop fraternity, for anybody out there that doesn't know what it is, just give a overview of what you guys
What?
do.
Okay, the Hip Hop Fraternity is a black think tank, right? And basically, it's 5,000 of us who share the same values. You know what I'm saying? So one of the brothers might upload a video and then other brothers are going to share it. We got Crips and Bloods and Vice Lords and GDs, and they all up under one umbrella under the auspices of hip hop. Everybody love hip hop. We got our own social media, so that means that we ain't got to worry about Facebook or IG falling off. We got our own shit. We got our own award show. Every year we award, people in the community and people from the hip hop fraternity. We got the magazine. We got the radio. We got man, so many entities. Hip hop fraternity museum, hip hop fraternity hall of fame, hip hop fraternity, everything. Because you look at it like a brand. If you look at Nike, Nike got Tiger Woods, they got Michael Jordan, Kobe, and Serena Williams. So when one brand do well, the other brand do well. So everything, all roads lead back to hip hop fraternity, and it's an opportunity. We teach our young people about cryptology, about the blockchain, about ASCAP, BMI, TuneCore, how to set up a copyright. All these things are given to them.
Absolutely. And just to piggyback off your last point, which is very important because a lot of people, especially in the music industry, discover that they have talent at an early age. But in our community, we're not privileged to have people around us that know the business side of things. So you might run into a situation where you get a bad record deal or you don't know how to set your music up, you don't own none of your music and things like that. So like for you, you
So
guys
in the
offer.
hip hop fraternity, we have what you call the hip hop facts. So we break down, the different disparities in the record industry. For example, most record labels give you 15% royalty. They keep 85%. So if you sell $1 million worth of records, they keep 850,000. You get 15,000. But if I gave you, that's 150,000. If I came up to you with 50,000, say, man, let me get that Rolls Royce. You paid 300,000. You're gonna say no. You must be crazy. No, you must be crazy taking that deal with that record label for 15% royalty when you own 100% of your intellectual property. This dude, they did nothing, man, but push a piece of paper in front of you. He's going to get damn near your whole life. So we break that down till we understand the intellectual property of owning. Because, Michael Jackson could be from you. You could be the next Michael Jackson. He could be the next Jeezy. So if Jeezy knew he was going to be the next Jeezy, he would secure all his copyrights and all of his trademarks. And, that stuff is serious, man, and it's according to the law. The law is set up to rob people, but they say ignorance is no excuse to the law. But they're doing it every day. A lot of these young people, man, getting tucked to the bank. You think they're doing well, but they really get played. So at the hip hop fraternity, we teach about cryptology, we teach about the blockchain, we teach about publishing. Publishing is very important because 89 years after you die, your publishing is still relevant. Artists need to understand that. Publishing is so. If somebody uses your song, you get paid. Like in the case of Whitney Houston and Dolly Parton, she did that song "I Would Always Love You." That was Dolly Parton's song. That song, man, trended tremendously all over the world. But Dolly Parton got the money because she owned the rights to the song. You take my man Sir Mix-a-Lot, I Like Big Butts. He been touring off that song for 40 years, man. People been talking about I like big butts. You know what I'm saying? And that go to show you that's how important your publishing is. You look at Michael Jackson, he owned half of Sony. He bought the Beatles catalog. And with that was a bunch of other shit like Eminem and, Elvis Presley. He owned like all percentage of all these people. Sony had to go in business with him and create a joint venture. That explains why Michael Jackson was killed. Michael Jackson wasn't just killed. Michael Jackson was way more powerful. What man, spent $100,000 a month to rent a mansion, and can't fill it? He getting a lot of money. You got to understand copyright. Copyright. Understand. Copyright control, where they put your money in a box, a black box. And a lot of artists who die, their children don't know that there's money in this black box. Give you an example. One of the guys used to play for Beatles. He was a drummer, just a drummer. And his publishing when he died was worth $3 million. The lawyers found his son on America Most Wanted and tracked him down and gave him, a third. They kept a third. They gave him $2 million. And he was like, man, where I get this face? Your father was the Beatles drum player. So it's a lot of money on the floor. We just got to figure out how to get that shit, and figure out how to keep that shit, and own our own shit, man. Our culture, our call.
Absolutely. So as I was going through your Instagram, I see that y'all have meetings like certain times of the month. How frequent are
Every
those?
Monday.
Every
Every
Monday.
Monday. Every Monday we meet, and the reason why we do that, I tell people, I said, man, y'all go to church for 4 hours. Y'all need to come and be amongst each other for 4 hours so we can create that camaraderie and that unity. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get to know each other. Y'all can fraternize with one another, and that's essential. We as black folks, we tried everything, but we never tried unity. So I'm a key opponent on unity. I love to preach unity. I love to show the aftermath of unity and the effects of unity. And a lot of them, because they're unifying now and they're moving in unison, they can understand. You look at the trees, man. The trees can't be the trees without the ultraviolet rays of the sun. And then the sun is connected, to water being precipitated and coming back in the form of rain, through condensation, which creates moisture for the trees, and the trees wouldn't survive. But the thing about it, if the trees was to disappear, we all die. If water was to evaporate, we all die. So that's unison. That's why they call it universe. We gotta have a universal mentality. That's how you create the universe.
Absolutely. So in your opinion, what's your current opinion on the music industry and how the music business is going?
I think the music business is doing pretty well. Yo Gotti's doing a marvelous job over there at CT or whatever it's called.
CMG.
CTMG?
CMG.
Yeah, CMG is doing a great job. Authentic Empire, they trying to come along. You know, Ugly Money's doing a good job. You know, a lot of independent companies is coming along. HHF is obviously doing a good job. And, you know, we just have to leverage and deal with the opponent, I say, or the record labels from a point of leverage and where we have the advantage. And that's where I think a lot of these young people through YouTubes and the streaming channels and all the uploading that they're doing now, it gives them more power. So the artist is definitely having more power. What happens is how they look like in 3 years, you know, when they start offering more money.
Absolutely.
You know, like they bought Lil Wayne's catalog, they bought Future's catalog, they're buying everybody's catalog. So the more money they offer, you know, the less independent people become, and the less people begin to be proponents on independent. They become less proponents. They become like pretty much, you know, you sell your soul.
Absolutely. But so I'm glad you brought that up. So what is your opinion on the whole catalog thing? Because I was having a debate with somebody and I was like, okay, if I'm Lil Wayne, I don't know how long I'm gonna live. You know what I'm saying? So royalties and all that stuff is valuable, but if somebody like I think Justin Bieber got like 300 million or something. So like if somebody offer you that type of money, is
Well,
it worth
is they legends, right? They legends, right?
right?
So the first 30 years you build legacy, you become legendary. The next 30 years you build generational wealth. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so that is an asset. You know, the asset no longer exists. They gave up the asset. Now, what you don't understand, or a lot of people don't understand, is that we're moving into into the 21st century, the fourth industrial revolution, the internet. So a lot of stuff is going to be, you need music. So a lot of that music you're gonna start seeing on NBA 2K, on Xboxes and stuff like that. And people are gonna pay extra for that. And that little money that they gave them, they make that shit back overnight. You know, and I know you say, well, they don't have the expertise or the connection to make it happen. Well, if you hold on and you got the strength, then you can make it happen. If you can't make it happen, you can make it happen. Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's your opinion on do you think rap or music artists, do you think they are targeted? And if so, why? An example like Rico
Well,
K.
you know, I mean, anytime you get on the internet and you expose your hand, you know, you're always gonna be a target. You can't be friends on both ends. You can't be hustling and rapping at the same time. It just ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna snitch on you. Somebody gonna, do something dumb. Somebody gonna get caught up over a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Just small things like that can shake your whole foundation. You know, so yeah, you want to kind of stay away from this shit.
Okay. So out of you done did a lot of amazing things in your life. Out of all the things you accomplished, what would you put at the top of the list that you hold dear to your heart?
This Boosie movie coming out and this Ice-T movie, and signing them, transitioning from a street nigga to a mogul, being, the businessman, the consummate businessman, and taking it to the next level. I think, it's like my man Cash right here. It's my partner.
Hey, what's
You
up?
know, when I met him, he was on some wild and foul shit. I got his mind right, made him CEO of HHF, St. Louis and East St. Louis. So now, he's doing positive things. He telling brothers to put the guns down, stop the violence. You know what I'm saying? So, that's making me proud to see, the people, that I hold dearly, succeed and win, and then continue to win myself.
Absolutely. So I know you had you was talking about your book, the 48 Laws of the Game. Do you plan to write any more books in the future?
Well, I have another book called The Art of Human Chess. I got another book. I don't want to divulge the name because in the book game you can use somebody's title and you can't be sued. Only in the book game you can use the same title. You got 5 different Think and Grow Riches. Can't nobody do nothing about it. So I try to keep my title on the hat, because you know the everything that you do should be setting up the next thing. And then that should be set up the next thing and the next thing because it's chess not checkers. So we got to move 10 steps ahead. Everything we do, everything got to be set up the next thing. And that's how we move. And, we keep our mouth shut. We move in silence.
Absolutely. So for all your followers out there, what's some things you like doing in your spare time when you're not doing your business ventures?
Excuse me?
For all your followers out there, what's some things you like doing in your spare time when you're not doing your business ventures?
Uh, I like, getting on YouTube's and checking out the young talent. I like to study, people like Gunna, people who they counted out, 6ix9ine. I just like to study these brothers, even though they got a bad rep, you know what I'm saying? And, just study Boosie and study, Kodak Black and study, Whack 100. Just study these brothers to see which way the game and the mega trends is going, and, see how the music, Little Baby, see how the music Drake, just seeing, what's the mega trends and Jeezy, seeing how they bouncing back and, seeing how Gucci Man doing, and Rick Ross, how he, turning his house into a compound and, making money off the promised land, just studying the game. I like to just study the game, you know what I'm saying? Because I know I can put some input in it. I got so much game, what I mean? If I see a game being played, I can add to that game and make it better.
Absolutely. So what are your short and long-term goals right now? What do you want to accomplish in the next couple of years?
Well, we plan on having HHF completely funded, being $1 billion company. We plan on having the HHF museum completed, the HHF cafe all over the world, HHF clothing all over the world. Basically at least 2 or 3 artists, from HHF going platinum, and, controlling the game. I want to, set up some nice situations for my children, make sure that they are well taken care of. Something happened to me, and you know, I want to, build a headquarters for HHF from the ground up. You know what I'm saying, and build state-of-the-art studios so young people can come in and perform for free. And also, get free studio time, and also build a event center where they can come and perform for free. There's little small things like that can be, leveraged to our advantage.
Okay, I feel that. So for the rest of 2023 and the beginning of 2024, what you got coming?
We got the Boosie movie coming. We got Ice-T movie coming. We got Veronica Brown. We got Rick Freeway, Ricky Ross, me. I got my new book coming out. I got at least 4 artists that we plan on pushing and taking them platinum. Definitely. Anything HHF. I'm HHF. That's just I'm HHF crazy.
Absolutely. How do you want people to perceive you?
As a man that was in the game, played the game, kept it real, won in the game, you know, uh, got out before, they got me caught up, you know what I'm saying? And, became an example, did movies with celebrities and went out there and did billions and billions of views on YouTube's and on BET and MTV. A guy who wrote 2 powerful books that was bestsellers, that had an impact on the culture. And you know, quit putting a period on my name when you say pimping. Put commas on my name. So it should be Pimpin King, comma, book author, Pimpin King, comma, founder of the hip hop fraternity, Pimpin King, comma, consummate businessman, Pimpin King, comma, realtor, Pimpin King, comma, author, Pimpin King, comma, uh, man, just so many commas behind my name. And don't typecast me. and just watch the movie, man. Right now it's just a preview. The coming attraction, is on its way.
Absolutely. Well, I just started asking everybody this question on the show. So hip hop mount give me 2 top 5s. You can give me your top 5 from the pimping game and your top 5 most influential people to your life. It could be people you looked up to, family,
Okay.
anything like that.
So for the pimping on the Mount Rushmore would be JD, Iceberg Slim, one of our homeboys, Rob Robertson, great pimp, Bishop Don Juan, and the Reverend Seymour.
Okay.
And for influential people, first of all, the most person that influenced me was Don King, first and foremost. I'm a little bit impressed with Kevin Hart as well. You know what I mean? I think, what he have done, it was great. David Chappelle, he did a marvelous job as well. I'm definitely Michael Jackson. And Michael Jordan, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that could have been on there. I could rearrange that, but those are people that, I got Michael Jordan on my wall, Don King, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot of great people on my wall, man. Tiger Woods, I just look at them every day. Kobe, LeBron, and I tell myself through affirmations, I'm the greatest, because being the greatest and being great is two different greats. I mean, you can be great at something, but the greatest is 3 seconds difference. Muhammad Ali was 3 seconds faster than his opponent. That's why he was always able to float like a butterfly, sail like a bee. Michael Jordan was 3 seconds faster than all his opponent. That's why he was able to jump up in the air and get the ball off before anybody could get it, because he was it took 3 seconds. Greatness and the greatest is 3 seconds. You look at Sugar Ray Leonard, he was 3 seconds faster than his opponents. Floyd Mayweather, very fast, 3 seconds faster than everybody ever boxed. So I'm 3 seconds faster than the average person on the streets. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I always figure out something. I reinvented myself for 40 years straight. Who done that? It's 2023. I'm still relevant. I put a video up on YouTube's million views. Who gets a million views at 59, about to be 60? And people still love me and still talk about me like, I just came off the porch. So, man, come on, let's keep it real.
Absolutely. These are gonna be the last 2 questions. So who would you like to see on the Eric J the Great podcast next? But the only rule is you have to help me get in contact with him.
Cash. Yeah, nah. I mean, I could call Jack Thriller for you. That's my man. And Pastor Troy. I think, we got to stick with we can't always go Hollywood. We got to stick with the people that's been down and been making an impact, and I think, you'd be surprised, 85 South just signed Jack Thriller to a deal. Pastor Troy just got, commemorated by, I believe it was the mayor or channel somebody. So, these guys are staples of the community, I mean, I know you want me to say Boosie and you want me to say Ice-T, but I could definitely make that phone call. Might make that phone call.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I thought one of was gonna be Boosie.
Yeah, well, Boosie going through a lot, man. Boosie charged 20,000 for an interview, so it's gonna be hard to get him to come off of that situation where he getting paid to do a freebie. Just like when he did the 85 South. He said, "Y'all got 24 hours to call me for the freebie." So that's Boosie. Boosie, Vlad, kind of, put him in the game. Vlad TV.
Oh yeah, I forgot to ask this too. Give a brief description of your relationship with Pimp C.
Man, hey man, that's my best friend, man. We did everything together. You know, we made money, you know, we had deals, he knew my kids, I know his kids. He came to my house, he ate at my house, I ate at his house. We swapped cars. I drove his Spur, he drove my SL55 convertible Benz. So, you know, I mean, I went to visit him in jail. You know, he said my name in damn near every interview. So, you know, it was 1,000. You know, it
Absolutely.
was 1,000, 1,000.
Yeah, they don't make them like Pimp C no more, man.
Nah, nah. But hey man, I appreciate you, man. We got to
Yeah,
take
just
care of the business. But I stopped everything I do. I didn't get a haircut. I ain't shaved, but nothing, man, because I didn't want to be a fake. You know, I want to make sure that I stood on business. You know, I told you I was gonna do it, and I did it.
absolutely, man.
And now I feel good about myself. You know, and
Absolutely.
I kept my word.
I appreciate you coming on the show. Before we get off, man, let people know how to keep up with you on social media,
Oh,
websites, all that.
everything is real Pimpkin _ Snapchat and IG. Facebook is Ken Ivory / Pimpin Ken. And you know, DM me, I DM back.
Absolutely. Everybody be on the lookout for the Boosie movie, Ice-T, and all the upcoming projects Pimpin' Ken has coming out. Real business mogul and a real dope person. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. And you have a good day.
All right, love, family.